And we are back. Power Rankings. Playoffs edition. The second to final power rankings of the year. Well, the season. Not year. There will be a post-playoffs one where we have all 32 NFL teams. But we're only going to have 14 this time. 14 teams who made the playoffs. And really hurts me to make this video because my team was literally a Lions loss away. All the Packers had to do was win, but they couldn't. I was gutted yesterday. I'm still gutted, but I feel better. And, ultimately, we're just going to have to wait till next season for the Packers to hopefully shine. But anyway, ignore all these teams here. I'm just hiding the 14 actual teams. There's only going to be 14. And yeah, starting out at 14, we have the Seahawks, who are 9-8, and they are the 7th seed in the NFC. The Seahawks, they made their way into the playoffs. Week 18, they were a win and a Packers loss. The Lions had to beat the Packers, and that happened. So, congrats, Seahawks. Thank you as well for not letting the Lions make the playoffs, because I've now just found a new part of me that hates the Lions. If the Lions were fighting for a playoff spot, I completely understand. But man, you guys had nothing to do. Why'd you do me like that? But yeah. Seahawks, they play the 49ers, who are the 2 seed in the NFC. I don't like their odds against them, so I'm going to go against it. And I'm going to put the Seahawks at 14. At 13, we have the Ravens, who are 10-7. They are the 6th seed in the AFC. I really like the Ravens. I really do. But with how injured they are, I just can't trust them. You look at their quarterbacks in the air. We don't know who's going to play. They literally had to play their third-string quarterback against the Bengals. And, well, their defense kept them in it for a lot of the game. But, obviously, the quarterback wasn't able to get it done. We don't know who's going to play. We don't know if it's going to be Lamar. We don't know if it's going to be Tyler Huntley. We don't know if it's going to be Anthony Brown. We don't even know. They might bring in a different guy. And they're playing the Bengals again. I don't like their matchup against them. No matter who their quarterback is. So, at 13, we have the Ravens. And by the way, this isn't really based. This is kind of based on skill. This is also based on how I believe the matchups will go. In a way, it's really about how well I think they're going to do. Do I think they're going to, have a tough time and all that? 12, we have the Dolphins, who are 9-8. They are the 7th seed in the AFC. The Dolphins, like the Seahawks, they needed to win and get some help. They needed to win, which they did, obviously, and then they needed the Bills to beat the Patriots, and, well, it happened. So, congrats, Dolphins. You made it in. Barely. But, yeah, you're playing the Bills now, so they just helped you into the playoffs, and they are probably going to escort you out of it as well. But congrats on making it. Another thing with the Dolphins, we don't know who's going to play for them. We don't know if it's going to be Tua. We don't know if Teddy's going to play. It could be Skylar Thompson again, and if it's Skylar Thompson, I think they are screwed no matter what. At number 11... I'm currently typing apparently on the 11th. We have the Buccaneers, who are 8-9. They are the 4th seed in the NFC. After getting, after limping into the playoffs as the 4th seed because, well, one team per division minimum has to make the playoffs. And, well, the Buccaneers were the NFC Souths, who finished with a losing record. So, the issue with the Buccaneers, they don't really have any. There's a reason I don't have them last, even though they have the worst record out of the 14 teams. And it's because there's one man on that team who is very familiar with the playoffs, and it is one Mr. Tom Brady. We saw, I believe, Cowboys-Buccaneers earlier this season. I could be wrong. I want to say it was like 19-3. I could just be stupid or something. That could be last year as well. But either way, I like the Buccaneers odds against the Cowboys. I don't know necessarily about winning, but for a close game, I think that's probably going to be the best game of the Super Wildcard weekend is that Cowboys-Buccaneers game because I feel like the Buccaneers just pair up so well against the Cowboys, even though the Cowboys are superior when it comes down to the Buccaneers roster. Number 10, we have the Giants, who are 9-7-1. They are the 6th seed in the NFC. I don't really have anything to go off of for them besides their Week 17 game because in Week 18, surprisingly enough, they kept it close with the Eagles while the Giants did play their backups and the Eagles played their starters, which is very impressive to keep it close. Week 17, they destroyed the Colts. They clinched. They were locked at the 6th seed regardless of how this week went, win or loss. So they rested their starters. The Giants, they do play the Vikings, who they actually played early in the season. The Vikings won off of a game-winning field goal. I think this is another one for best game. I don't think it's going to be on the Cowboys-Buccaneers level, but I do think this will be a good game regardless. So yeah, number 9 we have Duval. We have the Jaguars, who are the 4th seed in the AFC, going 9-8. They would have made the playoffs. I want to say regardless because they won. They also like the Buccaneers, even though there's some teams worse than them or better than them record-wise, but they're above them because they won their division. Sorry, I have something stuck on my nose, I feel like. So I think the Jaguars, they got a tough time against the Chargers, who they play. In fact, number 8, the Chargers. They are 10-7. They're the 5 seed in the AFC. They picked up a nice win, or they lost to the Broncos, but at the time of their game, they were locked at the 5 seed. They could have dropped to the 6 seed, but the Ravens did lose their game. So, yeah. I think this also has a very good chance of being a good game. Apparently, from what I heard from the Sunday Night Football crew, apparently it's a 50-50, literally. So it could go either way. I don't think those are quite going to be the odds. The issue is the Chargers, in my opinion, far superior roster. Jaguars, though, far superior coach. And sometimes that's can do it. No offense, Chargers, but man, I think Brandon Staley is a horrible coach. So I'm excited for that game. 7, we have the Vikings. They're going to be 13-4. They are the 3 seed in the NFC. They do play the Giants, who they, like we talked about earlier, won off of a game-winning field goal earlier in this season. The Vikings, you might be wondering, how do you have a team with only 4 losses and 13 wins down at 7? Well, the issue is, I just can't trust the Vikings. This has nothing to do with the Vikings. This is their QB, the apparently swaggiest in the league. Dude can't play when it matters most, it feels like. Under the spotlight. I don't know what time they're playing. I probably should have looked at that. But I can't imagine it'd be great. I feel like the Vikings have never really done well in the playoffs with Kirk Cousins unless if it's against the Saints. And that's just, the Vikings doing well against the Saints regardless. So, I think they're going to definitely struggle against the Giants. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't know how it's going to turn out. So, yeah. There's a reason they're at 7. It's because, 1, all these close games, granted, it don't matter as long as you win. They could have close games here and win. And 2, I don't trust Kirk Cousins, when it matters. Don't get me wrong, Kirk's a great quarterback, but... Oh, my phone. When it matters, 6, the Cowboys, they're the 5 seed in the NFC. They're going to be 12-5. Here's a big concern with the Cowboys. They played the Commanders. And man, did Dak look horrible. Cowboys fans, go on. Say what you want. If Dak's going to play like that against the Buccaneers, you're not going to win. In fact, I don't even know if it'll be close. You need, I don't want to say MVP Dak because he's never won, nor do I really feel like he's been in that conversation, but you need good Dak, not bad Dak. And I think it's definitely possible you could get both sides. The Buccaneers, I feel like, is going to almost eliminate the run game, which is going to rely on Dak, and that's going to, really test how good your quarterback is if he can, deliver when it matters. Number 5, we have the 49ers. They're going to be 13-4. They are the 2 seed in the NFC. They're going to be playing the Seahawks division game. 49ers, big issue. I don't really have one. It's just I don't trust Brock Purdy. He's played amazing, but we've never seen him, have a big game. I don't know if he's had a big game in college, but I feel like, playoff atmosphere, it's going to be a lot different. Brock Purdy's probably going to suck a bit. Definitely not going to be bad, but, he's going to not be like the Brock Purdy he's been the past few weeks. Granted, I think they're going to probably easily make it past the Seahawks because that defense and, Brock Purdy, will do enough. But after that, I don't know. Granted, I think Brock Purdy will adjust better because, he'll have a playoff game under his belt. But, yeah. Number 4, we have the Bengals. They're going to be the 3 seed in the AFC at 12-4. They're going to be playing the Ravens, another divisional game. I think the Bengals have a very good chance of beating the Ravens. I think the Bengals have a very good chance of repeating their playoff success last year and making it all the way to the Super Bowl. And who knows? This one might end with a ring. My biggest issue with the Bengals, though, is I'm going to say that O-line health. We saw Burrow last year, how he did magical stuff, even with a bad, O-line. But this time I feel like he might have adjusted to his better O-line, and now he's probably going to play worse than how he has. Number 3, we have the Eagles, who are 14-3. They are the 1 seed in the NFC. So they get a bye for the wild card. So we can't really talk about the Eagles matchup. The Eagles could play either the 4, 5, 6, or 7 seed. If the 7 seed wins, they'd play the 7 seed. If the 6 seed wins and the 7 seed loses, they'd play the 6 seed. And so on and so forth until, we get to the 4 seed. They play the lowest remaining seed, or the highest, whatever. The highest remaining number. And I like the Eagles. I like them a lot. I think they're definitely going to be probably championship. I'm really rooting for an Eagles 49ers. I think that would probably be definitely, honestly, game of the year. I know we got that Vikings-Bills game, but I think this would be game of the year. 49ers, Eagles, winner goes to the Super Bowl. I think that'd be amazing. Number 2, we have the Chiefs, who are the 1 seed in the AFC at 14-3. Just like the Eagles, we can't really talk about their matchup because they don't have one. Just like the Eagles, they're going to play 4, 5, 6, or 7 seed depending on how, things shape out. But the Chiefs, they've been dominant in the playoffs. Back-to-back Super Bowls. Last year, they fell just short in the championship game. And then, the year before, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. One ended with a ring, by the way. The other didn't. They barely lost in the championship game again. So the Chiefs, they're consistent when it comes down to the playoffs. They always make a run. And I don't think this year will be any different. So, yeah. And number 1, we have Buffalo, who are 13-3, the 2 seed in the AFC. They play the Dolphins, another divisional game. And, yeah, I think the Bills are really going to struggle against the Dolphins. We've seen it time and time again. We saw week 3, 4. Dolphins beat the Bills. Then we go back a few weeks. I want to say like week 14, 15, maybe 16 or so. Bills beat Dolphins. Both are very close games. I think we're going to see a very close game. Assuming Tua plays. If Tua doesn't play, I think we're going to see a blowout. But if Tua plays, I think we're going to see a very close game between two very good teams. And I think the Bills are going to squeak it out. And after that, I think they're going to have a very dominant playoff run. when I say dominant, I mean they're going to, win in pretty good fashion. The games might be close, but, there was really no question the Bills dominated with stats. So if the Bills can get past the Dolphins, I think they're clear sailing. But that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. This is going to be the final power ranking before, the end of the season. There's going to be one after all the playoffs where we do all 32 teams for one final time. I will do power rankings throughout the playoffs, but they will be on Twitter. My Twitter is YoshiG_YZ. It's the same as my YouTube. The issue, it's nothing wrong with what, it is. It's just I don't want to do, power rankings and there will only be 8 teams and then 4 teams and then 2 teams and yeah. Tomorrow you will get predictions. This is going to be the final predictions of the year. Well, the season. I need to keep saying season. What I will be doing is I will be predicting the whole entire playoffs from start to finish, the wild card, divisional, championship, Super Bowl, all of that. And with this, I'm just gonna kind of assume all of them are right. I will on Twitter, do weekly ones as well. Where so after the wild card, I'll do the divisional, championship, Super Bowl. So that if I got any wrong, I'll do that. If I got every single pick right somehow, I'm not gonna do anything. I'll just post I got all my picks right for the playoffs. So say I get all 6, games right. Boom. We just kind of move on to what I would have the divisional games be. And so on and so forth. If I get one wrong, then, I'll post on Twitter which one I got wrong. And then we'll start from, say, the championship game. If I got one wrong in divisional and got them all right in the wild cards. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. See you guys tomorrow. And yeah. Goodbye. And also, before I actually end, don't worry if, you're afraid I'm going to stop uploading after the end of the season. Not the plan. There's some stuff, still going on. I want to do XFL content for when that season, comes around. I want to do mock drafts. Probably, I did 3 last year. I'm probably going to do 3 again. One post just immediately after the season. One, kind of after the off season ish, and then one right before the draft. And then yeah, that's kind of it though. XFL stuff, and then some mock drafts. Then obviously I'm gonna continue Bears franchise. And yeah, I'll probably throw in some fun content in there, like maybe some tier lists that aren't related to sports really, or maybe they are, but they're not like what I normally did. So yeah, goodbye. And if you have any video ideas, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to do them. Yeah, goodbye.